are these people?
This is another really important article that our friend wrote this week. Again, she's in chat, so say thank you and say hi if you can in YouTube. America's new police state, the leaked memo you need to see. And this one is fucking crazy. I saw this. I'm like, really? And nobody else is talking about this? A leaked memo from DHS reveals a terrifying plan to merge military power with immigration enforcement, and it ain't just about the immigrants. And Whitney Webb has been saying for a long time that all of this surveillance was not about keeping everyone out. It's about keeping us in and watching everything we do and then profiting from it and pushing out the people that they don't want, that'll fight the system. They only want people that'll go along. So she says, for decades, we've invested trillions of our tax dollars into building the largest military force on earth, believing it was meant to protect us from outside threats. Well, no, we were sold the lie that it was meant to protect us from outside threats. We believed it because we were propagandized to believe that, when all it did was make us unsafer and make us the bully of the world. Now the barrel is turning inward, and this leaked memo from DHS tells us exactly how. All this military equipment that they have that they weren't able to use overseas, well, they're going to use it domestically. They say it's protecting you from the threat of immigrants. That's the story they sell. But history shows the bars built for them always close on you. There's a reason they want an army this big, and it ain't just for the immigrants. So, dated August 2nd, that was 8 days ago, 2025, the memo describes a closed-door meeting between Trump's Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, Whiskey Pete, the highest-ranking officer in the U.S. military, the general responsible for defending American soil, okay, and also a former Fox News contributor, of course, senior Pentagon advisors, and the leadership of ICE and Border Patrol. Their focus was not on overseas wars, but on how to merge military power with immigration enforcement inside the United States. Wait, I thought that was illegal. It was written by one Philip Hegseth, a senior advisor to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, and the go-between for Homeland Secretary Security and the Pentagon. Not to be confused again with his older brother Pete, the former Fox anchor who now serves as Secretary of Defense. That's Philip. He kind of looks a little like Whiskey Pete. Older brother writes the plan. The other one commands the troops. That ain't national security. That's family business in building a police state. Trump also runs a family business. In its own words, the memo promises 100% success if the Pentagon and Homeland Security foster new ideas on national security and illegal immigration. Yeah, let's make a police state, and then you'll have 100% success. We'll watch and listen to everybody. Amazing. It explicitly pushes for a verbal agreement to place Pentagon staff directly inside ICE and Border Patrol. The kind you can't FOIA, subpoena, or easily challenge in court. How convenient. It tells America's highest-ranking military generals that they must feel the urgency of the Homeland Defense mission, whatever the fuck that means. I hope their assholes are closed. And even tries to sell that immigration is the same as Al-Qaeda or ISIS cells and fighters operating freely inside America. Guys, are you wetting your fucking pants yet? You sound like pussies. Yes, you read that right. They're comparing migrants to ISIS. ISIS, by the way, Dissent in Bloom, is CIA and Israel-backed and funded. Notice how they never attack
Israel's secret intelligence service.
Right. Notice how they never attack Israelis or anyone friendly to, to Western interests. Mm-hmm. And right now, they're running Syria. All right?
Yep.
Here's the thing. This isn't just a plan on paper. 6 weeks before this memo was written, Pete Hegseth's office quietly ordered 700 active duty soldiers to detention facilities in Florida, Texas, and Louisiana to assist, quote unquote, ICE. The Pentagon called it support, but on the ground, it meant U.S. troops were already working immigration enforcement missions long before this ever leaked. Now, I want you to remember that this memo exists in public view only because it was leaked. Whether the deal it pushed for ever happened is locked inside a so-called verbal agreement, quote unquote, only known to those in the room. The best shot at truth is a whistleblower, or Pete Hegseth getting sloppy drunk and dropping a journalist into another top secret signal chat. That's funny. That already happened twice, I think, right? I mean, we know he dropped Jeffrey Goldberg into the signal chat, but there was apparently a second signal chat that included his wife and other people that were not cleared to be in the know. The use of a quote-unquote verbal agreement wouldn't be the first time this administration has worked overtime to keep us in the dark, leaning on workarounds like encrypted apps. All right. But also, and she's going to say, in fact, secrecy is now policy. Earlier this year, the Trump admin dismantled FOIA teams at multiple agencies. I sent her the thing about how she's like, oh, well, earlier this year, Trump admin dismantled FOIA teams at multiple agencies. Again, they have a mandate to respond to FOIAs, but there's no mandate telling them how many people need to work there. Right? So turning record backlogs into multi-year delays while once again twisting the law in a way that benefits their fascism. How convenient. Right? What I was also going to mention just now was the alligator Auschwitz is also being done not really on a verbal agreement, but they're doing it on temporary tents so they don't have to go through permanent building codes, for example. Right? So this is a long article. I'm not going to finish this whole thing. This is talking about how LA was the dress rehearsal. All right. And then how historically we've seen this before. And she makes a comparison to 1933 Germany and the Reichstag fire. All right. Using a false flag type of event to ramp up authoritarianism. Hopefully we're back now, folks. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, children. All right. And then it's saying that the military has targeted Americans for protesting before. Look at Kent State when the National Guard troops opened fire on unarmed college students protesting Vietnam. Right. This is the danger we face when military forces brought into our streets under the pretext of security. The difference between crowd control and a massacre can be one order, one moment of panic, or one leader who sees political advantage in violence. And we know Trump sees political advantage in violence. All right, once soldiers are in position, the potential for abuse is not theoretical. History tells us it's inevitable. We saw this last year at Columbia University with the cops. I mean, how many attacks on these unarmed kids were there? A lot. Right? Today, that may be the migrants. Tomorrow, it could be you. All it takes is for Dissent to be rebranded as danger. But fear is what they're counting on. And this is really important. This is why I brought this, right? They expect you to be afraid and to allow them to continue to abuse human rights. Please don't be afraid. And even if you are, fight back with your hands trembling. I am. Fear keeps us silent while they disappear our neighbors. Fear keeps us frozen while they break the people who cannot fight back. We have to stand for those who have no one else. Think of the elderly, the sick, the disabled, and the children. Think like this little girl. In this video, you see her being held onto by an even smaller child, a confused and terrified toddler, sobbing so hard she can barely breathe. She's begging them not to take her dad, and then a woman hugs her, tries to console her. But how do you console a child who's lost everything? She tells them how mom died not long ago and the only parent she has left is being dragged away by masked men. She's wailing that she can't lose him too, begging. Right? There's a picture. It's not a video. This moment won't fade for her. It'll etch itself into her developing mind. shaping how she sees safety and trust and love for the rest of her life. Psychologists know that when children are torn from their parents, it disrupts their emotional and social development, leaving scars that can manifest as anxiety, depression, and difficulty forming healthy relationships. At minimum, a child's sense of the world as a safe place shatters, replaced by the lesson that the people who are supposed to protect you can also take everything from you. This is not just an arrest, it's a wound that'll follow her into adulthood. So now, so know that the expectation that you'll be scared, that you'll comply in advance, is the very fuel they run on, because fascists win when people are silent, cut off, and convinced they're powerless, as Jett wrote. We take that fuel away when we know the truth and refuse to bury it. Knowledge is a weapon that exposes their lies. Solidarity is a weapon that denies them control. People united are a weapon that they cannot contain. And we're going to show a little bit of weaponry in London that happened this weekend. Right? If we let this stand, LA will not be remembered as the dress rehearsal. It'll be remembered as opening night. When we stand together and make it clear that they don't get to rule in the shadows, they can't stop us all. All right? So that's another good one. Again, Dissent in Bloom. I'm going to read her little shtick here because we do value for value, as does she. She doesn't put her work behind a paywall and never will. Stories like this, the ones that pull apart the documents and track the timelines and connect the dots that they hope you'll never see, should be available to everyone who wants to read them. We believe the same thing. This kind of reporting takes time, risk, and resources. So if you value work that names names, shows receipts, and refuses to look away, consider subscribing. A free subscription helps share this work with more people. A paid subscription helps keep her going. It allows her to file FOIA requests and chase leads, verify sources, and stay on the story long after the headlines fade. They're counting on you not knowing and not remembering. We can make sure that neither happens. And I've been trying to help fill in some of the gaps on what she hasn't seen, because she's relatively new to the space and to looking at all of this and waking up to all of this. And there's a lot, 250 years of lying and manipulating to get us to this place. Everybody has knowledge that we can contribute to this. Yes, trying to keep your head up in this game, Lone Star, Rafiki. Yes, we all are. All right, that's Ralph. Thank you, Ralph. And because of that, we rely on you for our funding, because we know you came here for actual news. So if you want to join that board and become another supporter like the people over there, incredible people, especially the people that are highlighted there, thank you so much. And Ralph Mejia, man, thank you again, hooking us up. And Kieran Pine this week, Dissent in Bloom, man, thank you. She also is a supporter of this network, and we really, really greatly appreciate that. Cash App, $Indie News Network. No fees there. ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, and it'll show up on screen. PayPal.me/Indie News Network. Do it as friends and family, no fees. IndieNewsNow.com is our news website where you can not just see INN stuff, but stuff across independent media that we believe in and support. And then at the Substacks at INNnewsletter.com, that's for the network. And IndieMediaToday.com, that's my newsletter where I publish alerts for this show, and all the clips for this show go out as individual podcasts on a daily basis every morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Support independent media because we need it more than ever.
We are party.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say?